Omnioculus is one of the most valuable exotic armor pieces for hunters in Destiny 2, and today I'm going to have a look at why plus how to get Omnioculus and then put together a hunter PvE build that's really going to help you out in the endgame PvE content like Legend and Master of Sectors, Legend and Master Nightfalls, Grandmaster Nightfalls, and also Raids too. Well, if you're new around here or find this useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Destiny 2 content and turn on notifications by hitting that bell. And roughly 98% of viewers who watch This Week in Video Games aren't subscribed, so subscribe today and never miss an update. Well, let's dive right into the exotic armor and look at the Omnioculus. So this is an exotic hunter chest piece and it was originally introduced in Season 13. That was Season of the Chosen, and this has been a massive boost to hunters who want to engage in endgame PvE content. So let's have a look at why and look at the Omnioculus perks. So we've got Beyond the Veil, and you gain a second smoke bomb charge, have damage resistance while invisible, and when you make an ally invisible they gain damage resistance while invisible, and you gain melee energy. So the perk here is great as we're going to be invisible as much as possible, and also as well as protecting ourselves, we're going to be helping our teammates and confusing our enemies. Now that second smoke bomb for hunters is going to be invaluable, not only for you to disappear out of sight, but for you to get that damage resistance as well. And if you make that ally invisible, then you're going to gain melee energy as well. And that feeds back into making even more smoke bombs. Therefore, it's a really nice gameplay loop. It's going to help you protect teammates and you're going to become your fire team's MVP. Well, next up, let's have a look at how to get the Omnioculus. So this is one of the newer exotic pieces introduced in Beyond Light, specifically in Season 13. That is Season of the Chosen. So you can target farm exotic armor pieces through Legend and Master Lost Sectors, and if you complete these activities solo, there's a chance that the exotic armor will drop for you. So every day, the Legend and the Master Lost Sectors rotate, with 2 available each day across the planets and the moons. So as well as the location for the Legend and the Master Lost Sectors rotating, the rewards, they rotate too, with different armor pieces for head, arms, chest and legs each day. So if you want to check out the location of the rewards, then you can do so in-game, by completing the Lost Sectors on the regular difficulty and then checking them out on the map. So to get the Omnioculus, you want to look out for the exotic chest reward, and then if you complete the Legend or Master Lost Sector solo as a hunter, you get a chance for that to drop for you, and if you don't get it the first time, keep trying as you'll get it after a few tries. Well, next up, let's have a look at an Omnioculus Hunter PvE build. So we're going to dive right into the build for the hunters. I'm going to be focusing on the armor piece, Omnioculus, and building around that with Void weapons, a Void subclass, and also Elemental Well mods. And they are another relatively new addition to the game, which are now giving Warmind Cell mods a run for their money due to the build crafting potential, and I think the build today is a great demonstration of that. So first up today, let's have a look at the subclass. So for this build, I'm going to be using Way of the Pathfinder, which is Bottom Tree Void Hunter. So looking at the perks first of all, so we've got Vanish and Smoke, so you throw a smoke bomb from a distance with a melee ability, and the smoke bomb creates a smoke cloud that makes you and nearby allies invisible. Then we've got Lockdown, so grenade effects last twice as long, allowing for strong territorial control and increased damage potential. We also have Combat Provision, so damaging enemies with grenades grants melee ability energy, and making allies invisible grants grenade energy. So then we got Mobius Quiver, fires Shadow Shot multiple times in rapid succession, and Shadow Shot deals massive damage against tethered enemies. So basically you want to get that first one and then deal multiple Shadow Shots, and that damage is going to be absolutely explosive. Finally, I'm going to be using Gambler's Dodge, so that gives you your melee back. Basically that means loads more smoke bombs. So we're going to be using a couple of key elements in the subclass here, so Vanish and Smoke and the Omnioculus work really well together, since they double our smoke bomb output, and then Gambler's Dodge is also really useful, as that is going to give us our melee back, which again means more smoke bombs. So using a combination of these is going to allow for a lot of smoke bombs and hopefully keeping you and your teammates out of trouble. And then finally we've got the Mobius Quiver, and that can be used for DPS against bosses when paired with your power weapon. So talking of weapons, let's have a look at them next. So here I'm going to be using whatever is working well in Nightfalls and Lost Sectors, and that's specific to the season. So this season we have Unstoppable Fusions, Anti-Barrier Auto Rifles, and Overload Bows, to name a few. So I would look at your inventory, plus what works well for champions in a given season, and then match the weapons accordingly. Now, the only thing I would do is to match void weapons, as here we're using a void subclass, and that is going to help us create plenty of elemental wells with our mods. For the kinetic weapon, I'm using Legal Action 2. That's because this season we've got unstoppable pulse rifles. Basically, what you want to do is have a look at your activity and match your weapons to what you need at the time. It can either be anti-barrier auto rifle, or in my case here, I'm using a pulse rifle because this activity needs unstoppable weapons. In the energy slot, I'm using Le Monarch. This is an exotic energy bow, and it's a great void weapon to use, as you not only get the damage from the arrows on impact, but also the poison effect over time. You know, overload weapons this season are bows, so having access to a great bow is really, really useful, and Le Monarch is probably the best void bow out there. Finally, in the power slot, I'm using Threaded Needle. This one is great at the moment because of the particle deconstruction mod on the seasonal artifact. However, linear fusion rifles are getting a 10% damage buff in the December sandbox balancing, so they're still going to be useful when the artifact mod goes away. Now, this could be swapped out for something like Falling Guillotine or another void power weapon. Well, that is a look at the weapons, but finally let's have a look at the mods for the build. And this is really going to bring it together. So I'm going to be using Elemental Armament, so you spawn wells on kills, and yellow bar enemies increase the chances of spawning even more wells. I'm going to be using Insulation, so this reduces the class ability cooldown each time you pick up an orb. And I'm going to be wanting to use my class ability all the time to spawn elemental wells. I'm going to be wanting to get back my class ability as much as possible, because using Gambler's Dodge gives me back my smoke bomb immediately, and that's going to be really, really useful to help me and my allies vanish in smoke. Well, then I'm using Reaping Well Maker, so after my class ability, the next kill spawns an elemental well. So basically, I'm going to be producing wells left, right, and centre. And then also the Well of Tenacity, so picking up a void well reduces the damage you take, and you can stack Well of Tenacity too if you have enough mod slots. So Well of Tenacity, really, really useful, and that works really, really well with the Omnioculus and Vanish in Smoke, because you're going to be getting that damage resistance already, and here it's just going to stack. So these mods are all about spawning elemental wells and then using them to reduce that incoming damage. So it works great with Omnioculus, as we're going to get that damage reduction from our smoke bombs as well, and that is going to help keep you and your teammates alive for longer. And hopefully this build today really helps out in something like Grandmaster Nightfalls or Legend and Master Nightfalls as well, and also Legend and Master Lost Sectors. So give it a try and let me know down in the comments what you think of Omnioculus, and also let me know your build tips. Well, that is it for this guide for how to get the Omnioculus in Destiny 2, and as always, thank you so much for watching. For more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.